Hello there, dear friends, and welcome once again to the Relaxed Fantasy Review. Today, we're going to be talking about halfcasters. We're going to be talking about paladins, specifically. Halfcasters have a bit of a rough deal when it comes to spell progression. Normal full casters get access to their 4th level spells when they hit level 7, midway through Tier 2 of play. So, 4th level spells are tailored for that kind of power level. Paladins and other halfcasters, on the other hand, don't get their 4th level spells until they reach level 13, midway through Tier 3 of play. So, that means that a lot of their spells feel underwhelming compared to their other full caster companions. When a paladin's getting his 4th level spells, the wizard's getting their 7th level spells, and that is quite a difference in power. So, a paladin needs to choose their spells carefully. Now, obviously, I can hear what you're saying. Why does a paladin need to worry about their spells when they're just going to use all their slots to smite? And that's a fair point. But you may want to consider saving 1 or 2 slots for this top 5 list that I've prepared. Because these spells, even at the higher tiers of play, are nothing to be scoffed at. So starting right away with my 5th recommendation, it is Aura of Life. This spell is actually a pretty potent buff for any party. You cast it and you concentrate on it for 10 minutes. And it creates a 30-foot aura, similar to a paladin's aura, except even bigger. And what it does is, first of all, it gives you resistance to necrotic damage, which is great, and as well as anyone else in the aura. And your hit point maximum cannot be reduced, so that's cool. But the most important part of this is that any creature that begins their turn in this space that is an ally to you, that begins their turn with 0 hit points, gains a hit point back, automatically. No reaction needed from you. So as long as your party stays within 30 feet of you, and you're concentrating on this spell, and they don't get insta-killed by getting hit when they're at 0 hit points, or by having some kind of, powerful attack hit them that just instant kills them, they can't really die. This spell is one of the best life buffs, the Aura of Life, obviously. And it is really, really good. So I give it a big 2 thumbs up in that regard. Obviously, if your concentration's broken, this doesn't work. And it doesn't stop your allies from going down over and over again, but it does stop them from dying. So, Revivify, eat your heart out. Now, the 4th spell I recommend is another aura. Aura of Purity. Another concentration, 30-foot range, 10-minute aura. But this one does something a little bit different. It does give you resistance to poison damage, as well as make it so that you cannot catch diseases, which is nice. But it gives you advantage on saving throws against a bunch of different effects. Blindness, deafness, charm, fear, paralysis, stunning. It covers a bunch of things that are pretty detrimental and grants advantage to everyone in your party who's close to you. So, no more dragon scaring everyone, no more paralysis effects with the hold monster spells, no more charming effects, no more blindness, none of that. It is very, very potent. And of course, all these effects apply to you too, but they apply to everyone who's close to you. So, that's a pretty solid and really, really good spell. So Aura of Purity, definitely a good one to consider. But another consideration for your spells is Staggering Smite, the 3rd one on my list. Normally, I'm not one to say that you should choose a Smite spell over a Divine Smite, because Divine Smite doesn't require a spell slot. Well, it requires a spell slot, but doesn't require a bonus action. It doesn't require concentration. In fact, all you have to do is hit and then decide you're going to Divine Smite. Staggering Smite takes a bonus action to cast and requires concentration, so you can't use it if you're using an aura of some kind. And if you miss your attack, technically you can maintain concentration on the spell, but if you don't hit after that, then you've wasted it. That's why I don't normally talk about the smite spells, but staggering smite's actually a really good one. Like I said, bonus action, concentration. The next time you hit with your weapon, you will do 4d6 extra damage, psychic damage in this case, and the creature you hit will have disadvantage on their attacks and their ability checks, and they cannot take reactions until the end of their turn. So, for the rest of their turn, I guess when their turn comes around, they are going to be largely useless. The disadvantage is really potent. They can't take reactions, so you could do this and step away for opportunity attack purposes. It's solid. It's definitely solid. The damage is a little less than what you'd get for a 4th level Divine Smite, 46 instead of 5d8, but it is psychic damage, which is good. And the bonus effect definitely is good, is a solid one. So I'd say even at the higher levels of play, Staggering Smite's a great way to debuff enemies. Now, number 2 on this list is one that I think every paladin takes when they hit the higher levels, and that is Find Greater Steed. The Find Steed spell, well known amongst paladins, that can give you a magic horse, so you can ride whenever you like. Find Greater Steed takes it to the next level and gives you a more powerful mount. Most notably, you can get a flying mount, like a Pegasus or a Griffin. Or you can get yourself a super tanky mount, like a giant direwolf or a rhinoceros. Obviously, the spell lists several animals you can pick from. I'm sure a DM would be willing to entertain some homebrewing here. But all in all, you get this bonded mount that stays with you forever. The spell takes 10 minutes to cast, so this isn't something you can do in the middle of combat. But, as an action, you can dismiss the mount, so it can just kind of go away, and you can summon the same one back. If it drops to 0 hit points, it also pops into its little pocket dimension, and if you cast a spell again, you can summon back the same mount with all of its health and conditions restored. The mount also has its intelligence raised, up to 6 if it isn't there already, and it gains the ability to understand a language, so you can just talk straight to it. It can't respond, except it can communicate telepathically with you. Within 1 mile, you can send telepathic messages to your mount that it will hear. So, basically, no matter where you are, as long as you're not super far away, you can tell your mount what to do, and it will do it. And if it's a flying mount, it can come in and save you from, a bad situation. Or I guess if you really want something powerful, grab the rhinoceros and just use it to barrel over your enemies. It is a very, very good spell. And having yourself a mount on command, basically, that you never have to worry about dying. Even if it falls in combat, you can just resummon the same creature. So it's powerful and it's varied and it works for the intents of the spell. It's great. So why is it not number 1? Well, because there's one spell, and this spell is one of those that anyone who can take it should, and it's Banishment. Banishment is my number 1 pick for 4th level paladin spells, and it's very simple. You point at a creature, they make a charisma save, a good save to target, and if they fail it, they're gone. Poof. They disappear. If you cast this on a creature that's native to the plane that you're fighting on, so most creatures in the material plane, it goes into a pocket dimension, a harmless demi-plane, where it's incapacitated for a full minute if you maintain concentration. It's a great way to get an enemy off the battlefield while you deal with other creatures, or just make someone disappear. When you do this, they stay in the demi-plane, and after the minute, they just reappear where they were. However, if the creature isn't native to the plane, so if they're a celestial or a fiend or an abomination or something that comes from outside the plane you're on, you can use Banishment to send them back to their home plane. If they fail their save and you maintain the concentration for the full minute, they're just sent back to their home plane permanently. So if you're fighting fiends, this is a great way to send a demon lord back to their home plane. Obviously, legendary resistance can resist it, but if you manage to whittle those down, Banishment is effectively a one-hit kill. Just make sure you keep that concentration for the minute. And a one-hit kill spell, if you're fighting a creature from elsewhere, definitely deserves the number one spot. Because what do paladins want to do? They want to send the demons and the devils back to where they came from. Or I guess if you're an evil paladin, the celestials and the angels. And I get it, you know, that's their whole deal. And banishment is the most thematically appropriate paladin spell, as well as just being one of the best control and battlefield spells in the whole game. It's great. This has been the Relaxed Fantasy Review. If you enjoyed the video, please like and subscribe down below, and keep your eyes peeled for more spellcasting reviews coming down the line soon. Have a good one, my friends.